Math for today is lesson 15-2. You should have some shapes that go with your paper, so have them ready. Have a spot where you can spread out all your shapes and move them around and still have room to write on your paper.
Read and understand. How many ways can you make this shape using pattern blocks? Let's find out. What do you know? You know the shape you need to make. What do you need to find out in this problem? You need to find out how many ways you can make this shape using pattern blocks.
So what they want us to do is make this shape here, which is called a rhombus, and they want us to move some of these shapes and see if we can put them together to make a new shape. So let's watch.
How can you find out how many ways you can make this shape using pattern blocks? One way is you can place pattern blocks in the shape to see what fits. It's like doing a puzzle.
So that's why you have a bunch of these shapes. You can move them around and stick them together to see what other shapes you can make.
Plan. How can you show all of the different ways? You can make a list of all the different ways. Each time you find some pattern blocks to fit in the shape, write down the numbers of pattern blocks you used.
So we are going to fill in a chart. You have it on your paper, and we're going to write down how many of each shape we used.
Solve. How many different ways are there to make this shape? There are 4 ways to make this shape with pattern blocks. What do you notice about how the list was made? First, it shows ways with the largest block, the red one. Next, it shows ways with the next largest block, the blue one. Lastly, it shows ways with only small blocks, the green ones. Each way uses fewer larger blocks and other smaller blocks.
So they didn't really show us how to move the blocks around to make the shapes, but we are going to do it together, so we'll practice that in a moment.
Look back and check. How can you check your answers when you make a list to solve a problem? You can check by building the shape with the blocks again. Make sure you have tried all possible ways with each type of block. Check the ways off the list as you build them. You have learned how to make an organized list to solve a problem.
Okay, so you have a paper. I don't have the paper today for some reason. I don't have one of these. But on the very front of your paper that has 15-2, you have a chart that has these 3 shapes up at the top. All right, so let's go over what we have. We have a hexagon, we have a rhombus, and we have a triangle. All right, now they want us to make a bigger rhombus using those shapes. I'm going to try to do it on the computer here. It might or might not work. You should be doing it with your shapes that you have, the shapes that I cut out for you. Okay, so you will need the green triangles. I can't remember if yours are green or not. The triangles, the blue rhombuses, and the yellow hexagon. Okay, so we're going to move them around and see what we can do to make a bigger rhombus shape. So we're going to start off with our yellow hexagon. All right, so that's the big one here. So we'll have that one. And we're going to add to it, we're going to add some triangles to it here. I have to flip this one. So see if you can get your shapes and kind of move them around a little bit. And if you can see this here, we have made a bigger rhombus shape, okay? It's a little hard to see at first, but I find that if I trace the outline with my finger, it helps me see the shape a little bit better. So see if you can arrange yours like I have mine and make that shape. Okay, what we can do then is go over to our chart over here and fill it in. We used 1 hexagon, 0 small rhombuses, and 2 triangles to make that shape. So if you write that in for way 1 on your chart, we will know that we used those shapes. Okay, then go back to our shapes. And let's see what else we can do here. Let's see, let's try to use some of these blue rhombuses. All right, so this time we're gonna use these down here. So this already is in the shape of a rhombus. We just wanna make a bigger one. So we'll stack 2 of them like this. And then right next to it, we'll do 2 more. I have to flip this one. Okay, like that. So now, if I outline it with my finger, I can see the bigger shape that we made. And I don't need any of the other shapes. Go ahead and try it with your shapes and see if you can make that same one. Then we go over to our chart, and right down below, we're going to fill in that we used 0 hexagons, we used 4 small rhombuses, and we used 0 triangles for this one. So on your chart, in the second row, this is what you should have filled in. Okay, let's go back to our shapes and let's try something different. All right, this time, let's see, we're going to mix it up a little bit. So we'll keep these 3 blue ones, 1, 2, 3, and let's move some of the triangles down. This one might be a little tricky because I think these triangles are too big for what I need to do. Yeah, so I don't think I can use the triangles for this one. They're a little too big, but maybe I could do it on here. So let's see. There we go. Oh, so I go like that. So now I have the outline of my rhombus shape, okay? So when I fill it in on the chart now, I'm going to go back up, and this time I used 0 hexagons. My rhombus I had to take down. I used 1, 2, 3 to use it for the shape. And I used 2 triangles. So I'm going to write a 2 for the triangle. All right, so see if you can make that shape and then fill in your chart with the numbers that match how many shapes you used. Okay, let's go back and try another one. Let's see here. This time, I think I'm going to stick with these shapes. They're a little bit easier for us. We're going to keep these 2 and keep these 2. And I'm just going to do it again like that. So now I've got the outline of my shape that I made, and this time I used 2 rhombus and 4 triangles. So when we go up to our chart up here, we can fill in 0 hexagons, 2 rhombus, and 4 triangles. Go ahead and fill it in on your paper. Practice moving your shapes around. All right, and let's try a different way. Okay, let's see. I might be out of shapes here. So I might have to do a little bit of drawing here. So if we keep this one, and I do some more triangles, like that. Now I have a hexagon or a rhombus shape, but this time we have used 0 hexagons, 1 rhombus, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. So you fill it in on your chart. Okay, and let's do one more. This time we are going to do all triangles. And when we put them together, we will make a rhombus. So we will have 0 hexagons, 0 rhombus, and 8 triangles to make the shape that we need. Okay, so your chart should be filled in now. You should have tried all these different ways to make the shapes. If you didn't do it, go on back and try again. Pause the video and take a few moments to figure out what you should be doing. When you are ready, turn your page. Okay, and on the inside, we just have a few other ways to make these shapes. The next one that they want us to do is to make this big yellow triangle. So they want us to make a big triangle. I'm just going to draw it up here. Okay, using the shapes down below. Okay, so using a trapezoid, oops, the trapezoid does not want to stick. Using the rhombus and using a triangle, just one. So we're going to fill in the chart using those 3 shapes now and seeing how many of each one we can use to make a big triangle. Okay, so you are going to need to get these shapes out and then fill in your chart with me. All right, so we're going to start off here with using our triangles. So let's see if we can make a bigger triangle using some smaller triangles. It's a little hard with my tape not sticking. Okay, so if we do it like that, you have made a bigger triangle. Okay, see if you can do it with your pieces. And then we're going to fill in the chart. We used 0 trapezoids, 0 rhombus, and we used 4 triangles to make that shape. So let's try it a different way. All right. This time we are going to use one trapezoid and one triangle. And we have made a bigger triangle. So we can fill it in. We used one trapezoid, 0 rhombus, and one triangle. And let's try one more way. Right, this time let's use a rhombus and let's see here. We're going to use a triangle here and a triangle here. And that has given us a bigger triangle. And we can fill it in. We used 0 with a different marker. And we used 1 and we used 2. So fill it in on your chart. Okay? You are going to keep using your shapes. You are going to try the other side on your own. On the other side, they want you to make a hexagon. None of my markers are working. Okay, so they want you to make a hexagon shape, and they want you to use the hexagon, the trapezoid, the rhombus, and the triangle to make that shape, and fill in the chart. See how many different ways you can come up with. It's okay if you can't come up with all the different ways. Remember to flip your shapes, okay? The triangles don't always have to be pointing up. You can do this with your triangles. Okay, and it makes a different shape. So turn things around, flip them from side to side, try some different ways. Okay, see how many you can fill in. There is nothing on the back page today. It was about using the computer to make shapes. So keep working, have fun with your shapes, see what other things you can make.